As U.S. citizens, we are all entitled to certain rights, including the right to a fair and impartial trial, as well as the right to call witnesses on our behalf. However, these rights were denied to Felix Verdejo by Judge Pedro Hernandez Delgado. In Felix Verdejo's trial, the prosecution allegedly manipulated and withheld crucial evidence. As a result, Verdejo's legal team has requested to put his appeal in Boston on hold and filed a Rule 33 Brady motion for a new trial with the same Judge Pedro Hernandez Delgado in Puerto Rico. Attorney Edwin Prado plays a key role as he possesses evidence that was allegedly mishandled and hidden by the prosecutors.
Quique, la semana pasada, nosotros en exclusiva, indicamos que la moción de nuevo juicio presentada por Gabriela Cintrón, Jason González y de igual manera también Ignacio Fernández. En términos procesales, el caso está en Boston, así que lo que se somete es prácticamente una moción de que se paralice lo que está en Boston en lo que el juez aquí, en instancia, decide sobre un caso de nuevo juicio, la moción de nuevo juicio presentada por la defensa. Tuvimos la oportunidad para que nos explique un poco más el licenciado Ignasio Fernández. Lo tuvimos con nosotros vía Zoom. Vamos a ver lo que él nos comentó.
La moción de nuevo juicio es precisamente lo que genera la solicitud. Cuando hay una apelación, el Tribunal de Apelaciones en Boston adquiere jurisdicción única sobre el caso. Significa que la Corte de Distrito en San Juan no tiene jurisdicción para dilucidar, para evaluar los méritos de la moción de nuevo juicio. Por eso es que yo le pido a Boston paralizar la apelación, devuélvele jurisdicción al Tribunal de San Juan, al Tribunal Federal de San Juan, y permita al Tribunal de San Juan pasar juicio sobre la moción de nuevo juicio.
Let's break this down. Mr. Ignacio Fernandez was appointed on December 14, 2023, by the Appeals Circuit to be the lawyer of Felix Verdejo in Boston. But since the lawyers Jason Gonzalez and Gabriela Cintron requested a new trial in the District Court of San Juan, the lawyer, Ignacio Fernandez, asked the District Appeal in Boston to please hold off on the appeal, give the District of San Juan back the jurisdiction while the new motion under Brady is done. So now we break into the reason for motions. Brady.
Fuiste mencionado y ¿qué tuviste que ver con este caso de Felix Verdejo?
Recibo una llamada de unas personas vinculadas a Cades. Simplemente esas personas allegadas a Cades y a su hermano se comunican conmigo y yo les doy una cita por Zoom. Y nos reunimos y ahí me entero de que esa persona era cómplice de Verdejo.
On the other hand, Luis Cades testified that on April 30th, 2021, he spoke in his room with the aunt of his nephew's mother, Ricardo Cadiz, and his girlfriend about what he had done to KRO. The aunt of his nephew's mother, who was a police officer, then told him she wanted to help him find him an attorney. Luis Cadiz testified that on that same date, April 30th, he spoke with Prado Galarza through the aunt of his nephew's mother, that they spoke on the phone, and Prado Galarza told him to call him on a private application. In their conversation, Prado Galarza told Luis Cadiz to ask Verdejo Sanchez for $25,000. As such, Luis Cadiz allegedly sent a message to Verdejo Sanchez asking him for the money, but he did not respond. Luis Cadiz then told Prado Galarza that Verdejo Sanchez did not respond to his request, to which Prado Galarza told him that they would talk the next day, and that his lack of response meant that Verdejo Sanchez would snitch on him.
Yo hice 3 preguntas. Pregunta número 1, si la persona estaba viva o muerta. Pregunta número 2, si estaba en agua o en tierra. Y ellos me contestaron las 2 preguntas, que estaba muerta y que estaba en agua.
Here's a breakdown of some of the claims made against Felix Verdejo during the trial and the subsequent challenges to the prosecution's narrative. The claim that there was blood on the bridge. It was proven that there was no blood. The claim of finding 2 bullet shells. It was confirmed that these shells did not come from Verdejo's registered gun. The claim that the crime took place inside Verdejo's Dodge Durango. There was no blood, hair, or cleaning chemicals detected in his vehicle, disproving the crime scene claim. The claim that Verdejo shot at Keishla Rodriguez. Luis Cadiz, a key witness, admitted that he lied about Verdejo's involvement. He revealed that it was he who shot at Keishla, not with Verdejo's firearm. The claim that Verdejo injected Keishla Rodriguez. Luis Cadiz admitted to being the one who injected her, not Verdejo. The FBI claimed that Verdejo was in boxers with a woman in lingerie when they visited him. This was proven false, as it was established they were both fully dressed. The claim that Verdejo was in a Honda Pilot on the Teodoro Bridge on the day Keishla's body was turned over to the FBI by Edwin Prado. FBI agent Ana testified that it was impossible to see Verdejo inside the Honda Pilot because the windows were too tinted. Additionally, if the police had truly seen Verdejo, it raises the question of why he wasn't arrested at that time. These points highlight the significant issues with the prosecution's case and the credibility of some of their claims, which have been questioned throughout the trial.
Como que habían ido, habían vuelto, ¿sabes? Tiene que haber una grabación. Más o menos.
Que por ti es que se filtra la información de dónde estaba el cadáver.
Pues claro. Yo para todos los fines esclarecí el delito para ellos. Y yo cogí, te di información.
Yo lo que voy a decir es que la fuente que había Felix Verdejo no nos ha acusado.
Por eso lo digo.
Una fuente ha comenzado 1500 teorías a través de las redes sociales.
Cogí, te di la información, la misma información que me dieron, se las di a ellos. A la hora me llaman bingo. Encontramos el cadáver. ¿Cuándo vamos a reunirnos? Yo le digo, bueno, yo no conozco, yo a esta persona ni la conozco. Porque te estoy diciendo que lo conocí por Zoom.
Claro.
Yo tengo que volar a Puerto Rico y reunirme con él para conocerlo y me tienen que dar break para entonces llevarlo allá a fiscalía. Ah, pues está bien. Y así hicimos. Yo llegué a Puerto Rico, él llegó a mi oficina, él me hizo el relato que ahí no voy a entrar a lo que me dijo, lo que me dejó de decir, porque todavía no lo han sentenciado.
Ok.
Él me hizo un relato. Yo, a toda persona que va a cooperar, tú solamente, la instrucción es bien básica. Di la verdad. Porque lo único que te puede joder es que te cojan en un embuste. Tienes inmunidad, di toda la verdad. Aunque sepan, no lo sepan, dilo. Eso es lo que tú le dices a un cooperador.
¿Tú sabes que está muerta cuántas horas antes de que la encontrara todo el mundo?
De 24 horas, 24 a 36.
O sea, dos días antes tú sabías ya que ella estaba muerta y en agua.
Definitivamente. Entonces le pregunto, yo lo que le digo a ellos.
They claimed that Felix Verdejo was involved in trafficking kilos of cocaine. However, when the judge sentenced the individual who made this claim, Ricardo Cadiz, she made it clear that Cades was in her courtroom for possessing just a few grams, not the kilos he had claimed to have moved with Verdejo. If it were true that Felix moved kilos with Ricardo, why isn't Verdejo included in the indictment in Lawrence, where Cades turned in his phones as part of an operation and was later arrested in Pennsylvania? The reason is that Ricardo Cadiz was a fabricated witness, making these statements to frame himself as a witness and support the brothers' version of events. This allowed him to secure probation for drug trafficking. And when was this scheme put together? On April 30th, in the office of Edwin Prado. Several significant events unfolded on April 30th, 2021. On that day, the Cadiz brothers managed to make contact with Edwin Prado, leading to a meeting attended by Miguel Santiago, Elise Marie, Edwin Prado, and a federal agent. The government also issued a missing person advisory throughout Puerto Rico, with Keishla Rodriguez's family pleading for information on her whereabouts. Meanwhile, Edwin Prado and the prosecutors were withholding the revelation of Keishla's body's location until May 1st, 2021. According to Ricardo Cadiz's testimony, on the day of the crime, when he left his house in the Luis Llorens Torres residential area between 10 o'clock and 10:30 in the morning, he saw Verdejo riding in his SUV and greeted him from afar. His brother Luis Antonio, who had a car wash business, was also there and told him that he had to return to a customer the vehicle he had just washed and asked him to accompany him because he had no way to return. Ricardo took advantage of the fact that another friend, whom he did not identify, was there, and they left, Luis Antonio in the client car, while he and his friend followed him in a black Lexus. That's how they arrived at Canovanas, left the vehicle that turned out to be Keishla's, and the three returned in the black Lexus. This mysterious friend in a black Lexus is quite interesting. Here is why. In the indictment, Gangster's Paradise, the FBI arrested the #1 at the time most wanted in Puerto Rico, Miguel Santiago Laiz. Now a question for the prosecutor, Jonathan Leon Gottfried. These keys confiscated at the time of the arrest of Miguelito, do they happen to belong to the black Lexus that drove along with Luis Cadiz and Ricardo Cadiz to drop off the vehicle that was identified to belong to Keishla in Canovanas? According to Luis Cadiz's trial testimony, on May 1st, 2021, at around 8 or 9 p.m., he went to Prado Galarza's office. Present there were Ricardo Cadiz, his nephew's mother, and the aunt of his nephew's mother, who had put him in contact with Prado Galarza. Luis Cadiz met only with Prado Galarza in his office. They talked about the case, and Luis Cadiz made the decision to cooperate. As such, later that night, Luis Cadiz went with Prado Galarza to the U.S. Attorney's Office and met with prosecutors and federal agents when he and Prado Galarza, as his attorney, signed a proffer letter from the government at around 10 p.m. In this first meeting, Luis Cadiz gave an alleged confession to the government and provided incriminatory statements against Verdejo Sanchez. He was again interviewed by the government and FBI agents on May 3rd and gave additional details about KRO's disappearance. Luis Cadiz then testified before a grand jury on May 6th for the first time. He was accompanied by Prado Galarza. Nevertheless, Luis Cadiz admitted during trial that he had intentionally lied to the government on that May 1st meeting. Most importantly, Luis Cadiz testified that in that meeting, he lied to the government and the FBI because Prado Galarza, who was his attorney, told him what to say and told him to lie, to hide some things, so that all the guilt would be on Verdejo Sanchez. For example, Luis Cadiz testified that he told Prado Galarza that he fired the gun, but that Prado Galarza told him not to say that, but instead to say that it had been Verdejo Sanchez. He also testified that Prado Galarza told him to lie about the location of KRO's vehicle and his specific actions and participation in the charged kidnapping. Not only did Luis Cadiz lie to the prosecutors on May 1st, but he also lied on the grand jury on May 6th, 2021. Once again, Luis Cadiz testified that he lied on the grand jury because Prado Galarza told him to do so, because Prado Galarza asked him to lie. Another important detail from Luis Cadiz's trial testimony is that he stated that on May 1st, he called 911 and anonymously reported the location of KRO's body near the Teodoro Moscoso Bridge so that it could be found. And not that he told Prado Galarza the body's location so that he would relay the information to the FBI.
Se inventaron una película para... ¿Por qué?
Bien sencillo. Oye, todo el que sea abogado de defensa y que ha trabajado con cooperadores, cuando el cooperador, lo peor que puede hacer un cooperador es mentirle al gobierno, porque le quitan el plea. ¿Sabes? Tú choteaste, dijiste todo lo que ibas a decir y ahora todo lo que dijiste todo lo que dijiste, que hasta las cosas que ellas no sabían las pueden usar en contra tuya. ¿Entiendes? Porque la linda. No, yo cambié esto porque Prado me dijo. O sea, vamos a poner esto en perspectiva. A un tipo que yo acabo de conocer. Yo estoy hasta cierto punto dándole un servicio al gobierno federal de esclarecerle un delito, ayudarlo a esclarecer un delito. O sea, yo voy a coger a esta persona que yo acabo de conocer y voy a tirar 30 años de mi carrera por él, por el asesinato de una mujer embarazada, por Dios. O sea, eso se lo creen las mentes más perversas que puedan existir, porque hay que ser estúpido para uno venir al mismo gobierno federal, ayudarlo en un proceso y después obstruir la justicia para que...